We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
Hello and welcome to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue.
And there's Brett Chapin. How you doing?
Thanks for joining us on La La Land. This is the only nationally broadcast show by Los Angeles artists about Los Angeles artists on episode 151. Dorothy's back. Yay!
I'm back. Yes. I had opening night hangover, and not from like the fun way. Just I was really tired from opening the show last week.
Yes, I can understand that.
Yes.
Well, we had our 150th episode last week.
Excellent.
It was great.
Yes.
It was great. We had Michael Seal in, Stephen Lee Morris and Deborah Behrens.
Nice.
Talking to us a little bit about LA theater.
Yeah.
None of them, they all refused to wear their headsets. It was very upsetting, but that's okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they were following
forgave her.
the example from Dan Musselman the week before.
Maybe.
Remember? Because he was here from Penguin Random House Audio, and he was saying, no, I haven't worn headphones in 25 years. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't need them.
Don't wear them.
Yeah.
You won't hear
okay.
the callers if the people call in, but
We forgive them.
we do.
They were very nice.
Yes,
so
that's
it was
good.
good to talk to them about LA theater.
Mhm.
And you opened your show. How was it?
It was great. It was great. We have 2 more performances, one today at 5 and one tomorrow at 2 o'clock over at Theater Palisades, theaterpalisades.com. And it's called The Ever After. It's just really funny. And I'll be honest, it's mostly, the humor is mostly for the adults. So if you're tired of going to kids shows and be like, oh, that was cute, then come to this one, because I have people coming out that aren't even parents, that, they're friends of mine that have come see it, and they're like, my face hurts. I'm laughing really hard. Yeah, that was really funny. I didn't expect it to be that funny, so that's always good. Oh, we had an earthquake during a performance last night, so all the lights started shaking. Did it jostle the kids? No. Why? Because I tell them, keep going. I tell them to just keep going.
That's great. There was an earthquake last night?
There was
I didn't feel
an
anything.
earthquake.
What time?
It was approximately 8:10, I want to say. It was centered in Marina Del Rey. It was a 3.2.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, I wouldn't have felt it in the valley of the
no.
3.2.
It was
cool.
small, but it was enough so that I go up and my booth, all my tech is run by kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I go up and I see Spencer, my board op. He's like, "Did you feel the earthquake? I mean, the lights like totally shook." I said, "Oh, I did not, but that's cool because I was underground. I was in the green room, so I didn't really feel it.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to feel it there.
You're not gonna feel it underground, so."
Actually, I didn't even think about it, but being on stage is kind of a dangerous place to be in an earthquake with all the lights and everything above you. You got to be careful.
Well, depending on the theater. So most theaters now, the lights are coming from above the audience. So
That's true.
you're putting your life in your own hands by going to theater in Los Angeles, and we appreciate everyone who risks their life to see live theater.
We do.
We do.
Keep LA theater alive is the lesson that we learn even through earthquakes, I guess. How weird.
How strange.
All right. So you open your show.
I opened my show.
You were saying?
Oh, and I got to see former La La Land co-host Daisy Egan at an audition. That was really fun.
Very cool. I'm glad you guys finally met.
Yes. It was very fun to meet her. I was like, I'm on there now. She's like, oh my gosh. So tell them I said hi. I'm like, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's doing her one woman show these days about her and her baby. I believe it's called One for My Baby.
Yep.
Yeah. So check that out on daisyegan.com. We'll give our former host a plug.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there were the Oscars, which you did not watch, but I watched.
I can't do it, or I couldn't do it this year. I got through like a half an hour of it, and I'm like, what? So you liked it, though?
I did.
Okay.
I enjoyed watching it. I had a lovely time. I was at, an awesome party hosted by John Sparks. My TV had gone out, so I was in a panic.
Yeah, I saw your post.
Oh my gosh, somebody please help me out. And luckily, my friend John and Biddy Summerer, who was in We Will Survive with me in the fall.
Love
and-
Biddy.
Yeah, she's awesome. And so they're like, come to John's, come to it. There's gonna be like food and everything. So I went, and it was a good time.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something like the Oscars to me has. I'll watch it next year, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't watch it because certain parts I heard were really good, and I'm gonna have to catch up on YouTube. But there's a certain amount of class that's been lost with the Oscars, and it's kind of a shame, I think.
Well, it's not like it's
Pizza-
the Grammys and people like showing their boobs or anything. But I like, what do you
Right.
mean by class?
I don't know, the whole pizza thing and the selfies. And what was
Pizza is
that?
classy.
Bad Grandpa was nominated for an Oscar this year.
For makeup.
I know, and it was good makeup.
It
but
had to be good makeup because they were one-on-one with people. If they hadn't been, then it would have been the whole movie would have collapsed.
And actually, I heard the guy that did the makeup for that is really well known and really.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's an art, and it should be celebrated. And
I
know?
guess, but I don't know. It's just the days of Bob Hope hosting where it was, like you said, a dinner and it was a little more highbrow. I like that, and I
I
think
totally disagree with you. I would much rather people have a good time. And I mean, I think they're taking a page from the Golden Globes, where everybody's kind of a little sloshed. I mean,
yeah.
and that's a party. That's a good time. And the ratings on that have gone up while the Oscars have gone down. So I think they are correct in making it a more fun, accessible night. People do take selfies. People do get pizza, and that's funny. So
Yeah.
So
But-
I disagree.
But don't you think there should be a certain amount of dignity, a certain amount of class? This is the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences.
I
This
don't
is
think
not,
pizza's undignified. I mean, if I thought pizza was undignified, then I'm like still living in a trailer. Van Eric, please.
Hey,
I've been
I
there.
love pizza. But come on.
the delivery guy can't complain because he got $1,000 tip.
That's
Yeah.
All of it. So
And he had no idea.
he
that's
had no
what was
idea.
going on.
Yeah.
You
Although,
know?
did you hear the controversy on that with Coca-Cola and Pepsi?
Oh, right. Yeah.
I guess Coca-Cola had their logo on the side of the pizza box, and it was the Oscars were sponsored by Pepsi, so
Whatever.
So
they got free publicity.
Yeah, so they got upset.
Pepsi was upset. Yeah.
Oh, isn't that special?
I don't know. All right. Well, one thing I really like about this show is that we do differ in opinion a lot
Oh,
of the
of
time, and I
course.
think it would be
We
boring
do-
if we
we don't
agreed
agree a
all the
lot
time.
of the time.
Yeah. So, and that's why I'm glad that you got picked by our audience in the co-host search,
thank you
because
very
but it's boring to have two hosts that agree all the time. So this is good stuff.
Exactly.
All right. The moral of the story is that there are different opinions about the Oscars.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yes.
I should mention our friend Allison Volk and Doug Oliphant are opening their show, and Lena Gwendolyn is in it as well.
Really? Oh, good.
It's called Rite of Seymour. It's at the Drive Theater.
Mhm.
It's opening this coming weekend,
Great.
and I can't wait to see it. It's going to be great.
Excellent.
And then I should also mention that the Vagabond Players, who we had on a couple weeks ago, opened their show on Friday, The Dinner Party. Check them out. They're the Vagabond Players. They're awesome.
Yes.
Um,
Musical of Musicals. They
Musical of
are
Musicals.
back at Chromaloom Theater. They started last night, I believe.
Mhm.
I saw it the first time around when it was on in October. It is really funny. It makes fun of all musicals and all the just the way they're set up, and it's great parody and really well done, and it's performed by really amazing musical theater actors who get the joke, and that makes it even better.
Love it.
Yeah.
Actually, just yesterday we booked James Esposito from Chrome Alone Theater
Oh,
for
wonderful.
April. So he'll be coming on in
you
April
go.
and talking to us
Great.
about Chrome Alone Theater.
Yay.
They're opening Altar Boys too, I think, after
Mhm.
Musical of Musicals.
Yes.
I've never seen that. I want to see that.
I haven't seen it either, but
I know
I'm
the music,
excited.
but yeah, it
Cool.
should be good.
yay.
What else is going on? I worked with a chimp on Monday, a live chimp, Billy the chimp.
I was not prepared for that information.
Yes. It was awesome. He's on. He's a part of this new show. It's Steve Carell's show, produced show called Riot. I guess it's really popular internationally, and it's a game show. And Billy the Chimp is a part of it. I don't want to give away too much because it hasn't premiered yet, and they don't have an
Okay.
air date. But that was great.
What?
I was thought he was very cute, and I was very aware that he could pull my head off if he wanted to as well.
Nice.
So yeah, but he was very well behaved.
Okay.
It was cool. And I did it again on Friday. There were 2 dogs involved. So yeah, It's going to be an awesome show. Check it out on Fox Riot when it
Okay.
premieres.
Very nice.
I don't know when, but it'll premiere soon.
Fox, since they're not testing pilots anymore, so I guess they're just gonna buy the season.
Mhm.
I guess that's how that's gonna go.
I know. I'm surprised at some of the shows that are possibly going to be canceled on that network. But
Oh well,
oh well, these things happen.
they do.
I guess that's it.
Cool.
You know, time to get to our guests, right?
Yes.
All
We'll
right.
take a short break, and then we're gonna be back with Janae Bakken from ABC Family's Baby Daddy, and find out how the writing world works. Okay.
Yes, and if you have any questions for our amazing guests, make sure to give us a call at 323-473-3100. 323-473-3100. It's right below me here. Got to get that poster fixed
I
with
know,
the old
it is
phone number. I keep
confusing.
looking at it. If you want to find information on us, you can go to facebook.com/lalalandtalk, Twitter at twitter.com/lalalandtalk, and you can also send us an email at lalalandtalk@gmail.com. And we'll be back on La La Land Talk with Brett and Dorothy on LA Talk Live.
End of the spring, and here she comes back. High, 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 high there. Them summer days, those summer days. That's when I have most of my fun back. High, 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 high there. Them summer days, those summer days. I cloud nine when I want to. Out of school, yeah. County fair in the country sun, and everything is true. First of the fall, and then she goes back. Bye, 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 bye there. Them summer days, those summer days. When I want to. Out of school. County fair in the country sun, and everything is cool.
All right.
Welcome
I'm
back.
not on.
Yeah, you
I
are.
am? Okay.
Welcome back to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue. I'm Brett Chapin, and I'm defying gravity right now.
Okay, this is Janae Bakken. I got what you were doing.
Yeah, no,
I was kidding.
I was gonna make a joke about the fact that we were talking during the break about whether or not I could beat up your husband.
Janae's met
But
him.
yeah, he is a big dude.
He's a bigger dude.
Hi, Janae.
Hi. I'm trying to think if I could beat him up. I think I could. No, your husband.
Oh, yeah. Well, you are from Minnesota,
I am.
so I don't.
We're tough. We're
they're
tough people.
Yeah. I mean, you were telling me earlier you were on a cross country ski team in high school.
Yeah.
I did not know
That's
that
my
existed.
varsity sport. Yeah.
Varsity
Lettered. I don't want to brag, but I lettered 6 years in a row.
Oh wow!
All right. Wait, how do you do that if there's a 4-year high school?
They because there's not enough kids on the team, so they invite the junior high school kids.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Ah,
Okay.
Sneaky.
It's co-ed
Very
too.
nice.
It was one of the only co-ed teams in the school because there's
Huh.
just like, 30 kids on the team total. So we got to ride a lot of long bus rides up north to get more snow. I'm no
Nice.
dummy.
I know. You're like, the let's see, the ratio of girls to boys at the theater group is
Oh, yeah. No, I chose sports over theater. Yep.
Mm, good times. Now, you and I, we both went to Northwestern,
Mhm.
and you were in the RTVF program there.
Yes, which was also like 75% male and 25%
Tell
female.
ya.
Again, no dummy.
Is that, yeah, Janae,
Because I think the
Right.
theater
smarty.
program probably was the exact opposite, I have to assume.
Pretty much. It wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be way, but it wasn't that bad.
All right, cool.
Yeah. When am I moving? Oh, anyway. So you got your degree at Northwestern.
I did.
And then when did you come out to LA? You came out like immediately afterwards, or?
Almost right away.
Uh-huh.
When I was at Northwestern, they had this amazing writing program. Did you know about the creative writing for the media? So it was like this 2-year
Yes.
program.
Allison was in that too, right?
Yes, she was.
Allison
It was
Shelton.
half theater and half RTVF people.
Gotcha.
And that changed my life because before that I wanted to go into advertising. And I walked out of there with 3 screenplays and a TV script that I'd written, just as samples. And I wanted to go to LA right away with all my cohort, but my mother she would rather have me in another country than in Los Angeles.
Oh,
so
okay, good
she
to
sent
know.
me to England for 6 months because there was this work exchange program where you could get a work permit if you were a student or a recent grad.
Uh-huh.
So I was able to work there legitimately because I couldn't afford to backpack across Europe
Sure.
like the rich kids. So I went there to work instead, and I worked at a restaurant pub. And then on the weekends, I would travel around.
Awesome. I did a semester in were you in London or were you
We were outside. We were in Oxford.
Oh, nice.
So it was much more British because in London, London's a really cosmopolitan city.
It is. Yeah.
So we enjoyed being in a traditional British city.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went home for Christmas, spent 2 months working temp, and got the hell out of there
Yeah.
on Valentine's Day. I remember.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Awesome stuff. And then you were a writer's assistant
I was.
on Malcolm in the Middle?
Yeah, but my first job, I was working for these 2 movie producers who were assholes, and they fired me. And losing your first job in Hollywood and then calling your parents in Minnesota and telling them that you lost your first job in Hollywood, not fun.
Mm.
And then I got a job working at William Morris for an agent who was crazy, a little crazy, and scared the shit out of me. But I learned a lot in
Yeah.
a very short amount of time. And you work at an agency, you're the best assistant in town. So then I had sent out all these resumes in that interim to TV shows, which I didn't know were all on hiatus. And then one of them found me. Their assistant went crazy, and it was Caroline in the City. And
I remember Caroline
called
in the
in
City.
sick at William Morris and went over and interviewed there in my little business suit. And the executive producer was he was from New York, but he'd gone to school in Wisconsin, and he thought Janae, the Minnesota girl, was adorable, and he hired me. God bless him.
Oh my gosh.
So that was my first. So I was executive producer's assistant, and I had my own office, and I was making $150 more a week than I was at the agency, and I thought I died and gone to heaven.
Oh yeah.
And I was wearing jeans to work every day. I mean, it was
Hello.
amazing. And TV people are amazing. And I wanted to be a TV writer. When I moved here, I was like, do I want to be a TV writer or a screenwriter?
Mm-hmm.
And I learned really quickly TV writing you want to do when you're young and fresh and not as old as me. But no, and I'm a social enough person. I mean, writers aren't the most social people in the world, but I'm much more of a social person than a non-social person. And
Yeah.
that's more for the screenwriters who are in their own little office and they don't
Yes.
see anybody all day. And I think they have to be a little more directed on task. I like someone telling me what to do and let's do this as a group. And that's what TV writing is. So I worked for him.
Mm-hmm.
He got fired off his own show, which was devastating. So then I had to go to another show, and I went to Malcolm in the Middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also one of the producer's assistants, trying to get into that writer's assistant gig, but which is where you're in the room with the writers, taking notes from them all day, and it's basically like an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And it's worth its weight in gold. And then finally, the next season, I got on a show called Oh Grow Up, which was Alan Ball's sitcom. This guy wrote American Beauty. And
Yes.
he had actually just written it. It had just come out in theaters and was winning all these awards. And we were this new sitcom on the air. And it came on the same season that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was on.
Oh, were you against it in the schedule?
Oh, no, we were on the same network. So ABC was just gradually do you remember when they put it on, I think, 4 or 5 nights a week?
Yeah.
We were one of the casualties from
Ah.
that. It was one of these shows that really, was finding its way and, doing okay in the ratings. Not great, but I think we could have. Of course, I loved it. It was my first experience as a writer's assistant. And so as Alan was winning his Oscar and his Writers Guild Award and every other award, his show was being canceled, and he was devastated because he was the nicest man in the world and so generous and lovely. And so there was just this high and low for him going on at the same time, which is life. you know.
Yeah.
Then I was a writer's assistant on a bad animated show, and then I went to Malcolm in the Middle. And that was only 2 months. It never even saw the light of day, that animated show. Malcolm in the Middle had just come out, really kicking it on the air. There were 2 Northwestern grads writing on the show.
Who were they?
Maggie Bender and Bonnie Landrum.
Oh.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
What was the name of the animated show that you worked on that didn't have a chance?
Do you even
I'm just
remember?
curious.
Oh, there's some things I forget what they are.
Oh, I totally forget.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with names. You just saw me say one of my best friend's names on the air. I don't remember. It was.
Wait, you worked on this show.
I know it never went on the air.
It never
and I
aired.
left. I abandoned it before it even went. Didn't make it on the air. I was like,
Gotcha.
Malcolm in the Middle needs a writer's assistant. I'm out of here, bitches.
Yeah,
So,
because that show just did well in the ratings from the
from
the
get-go.
beginning. Yeah.
And it was an amazing show to work on. The writing staff was so classy and so good, and we were done by 6 every day, which was amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I was working with my good friend David Wright, who was also a writer's assistant, and then working for Maggie and Bonnie, and that was a great experience. And that was the year that there were a couple of writers I'd known a couple years ago that were assistants, and they wrote together every morning for an hour and a half before work. And I was more the kind of girl I'm busy, or I don't have the time, or, I'd taken a couple of UCLA extension classes to kind of get me back into that writing mode, but I'm not a self-starter. And so when I was on the show and we were getting done at 6 p.m., I was like, all right, this is the time. And so I would stay until about 9 or 10 every night and write my own stuff. And in fact, back then, as a writer, you would have samples of scripts for shows that were already on the air. They're called specs.
Yes.
Now everybody wants an original pilot. They don't want a spec. But back then, that was the only acceptable form of your writing sample. So I wrote a Malcolm in the Middle. So I'm typing Malcolm speak all day, and then I went and wrote my own. It was just what's the word? Is it symbiotic? I don't know.
I guess so,
It's
yeah.
it flowed, and it did really well. And since I had been on all these shows in a row, bosses getting fired, shows getting canceled, whatever, I knew 60 writers that I could then call up and be like, hey, can you send this to your agent? Because that's kind of one of the only ways to get an agent.
Yep. It's by.
Yeah. And one writer who has always been amazing to me sent my script to her agents, and they signed me, and I was like, yay. And then I was kind of on my way. I mean, I stayed at Malcolm. I was in that Warner Brothers writing program, which was great. And then they started sending me out on the meetings, and the second show I ever interviewed for was Scrubs. And it was, brand new show, pilot had just gotten picked up. And that was my first writing job, and I was there for 8 seasons, which was the luckiest gig in the world.
Wow.
And it was the year 2001, which is right when sitcoms were just dying.
Yeah, everything was going to single camera,
Oh.
and Malcolm in the Middle was single camera,
Yes,
so they were
which is-
probably hungry for
Yep.
somebody who knew how to write that.
They were. All my specs just happened to be single camera. I had written a Sex and the City and a Malcolm in the Middle. And I have a great story about how, I don't know.
Tell us.
Well, so
We love stories.
I had interviewed for this job, and my agents called and they said, okay, they're going to hire 2 writers, and they interviewed 3 people, you being one of them, for staff writer position, the low level position. Do you know anyone who knows Bill Lawrence? And I said, I don't think so. And this was before the days of IMDb, when you could just look up Bill Lawrence and then see what shows he's been on, which friends did you have worked on a show. I didn't know anybody. So I went up to my boss, Linwood Boomer, who was the creator of Malcolm in the Middle, and I said, do you know Bill Lawrence? He's like, no, I don't. I'm like, okay, because I'm up for a job, but it's fine. He's like, yeah, sorry. And he's like, hey, you know what? I don't need to know him, because I'm one of the reasons his show is on the air right now, because Malcolm in the Middle was a single camera show. It was kind of the first time a single camera show had been on the air since Doogie Howser and Wonder Years. And so he said, I'll make the call. I said, oh my God, thank you so much. And I just assumed it would take him a couple of days to make the call. And a half hour later, he came over to my desk and he's like, I made the call. I don't know if that's the call that pushed Bill over the top for me, but 2 hours later, I got the call from my agent saying I got the job.
Oh, man.
And the writers they started clapping and I started crying. It was wonderful. That was...
Did it sound kind
It
of
was
like that?
It was like
Yeah.
that.
Like that.
It sounded just like that.
inspiring, yeah. But yeah.
So what's the difference between writing for film and writing for television?
Well, I don't know
said-
because I don't write for film. I've written screenplays that have never been produced.
Okay.
And the difference is you're locked in a room by yourself and it's lonely. I would say, from my TV perspective, besides the fact that it's really fun to work with a group of people, I kind of like going to a place every day. Like it's the closest you can get to a real job for us creative types.
Sure.
You know, for 9 months out of the year, you go into your office and you
Yeah.
have your coworkers that you love or hate and gossip with. But besides that, in TV, you know, writers are in charge. I
Yeah.
mean, the executive producer
That's
of the
for sure.
show is the guy who created the show. The woman created the show. He or she is running the room. He or she is looking at the budget and saying, we can't afford this, or yes, let's hire this guy. They're in charge of everything. In the movie world, I mean, we're on level with the PA in terms of the power that we have, and
Yeah.
everybody rewrites us. And the directors, the actors, I mean, unless you get someone who really respects the script, or you direct your own script, that script's going to be rewritten by ghostwriters, a million people. What's really weird to me is that studios haven't figured out that if they just hired a room of comedy people and paid them all, like I know guys who will get paid $750,000 to rewrite a script. Their name will never get on it. They might only take a weekend to do it or a week. I mean, it all, like, their rate depends on how many days they do it.
Sure.
Why not pay 8 writers, a comedy staff, or assemble them your own, $100,000 each, have them sit in a room for 3 days. They could pound that out. They're usually just looking for jokes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a story, but that you could just do as a single person. But if you're looking for jokes, you want 8 people to do it, and
Right.
we can do it quick because TV writers are fast.
You have
on-
to be, 'cause
on
your
my show.
turnaround.
We rewrite our entire episode every night.
Wow.
4 nights a week, 4 days a week, and and you do it in 4 or 5 hours. So a screenplay we could kick out in a day and a half, and it'd be funny.
And you know what's interesting? Because I think I was just at a panel at Pasadena International Film Festival on a women in film panel, and about how there's this dearth of women in film. I said, but it's not true in TV. That I think, you know, you are still the minority in the writers' room,
Yeah.
about without a doubt. But as far as writers, directors, executive producers, there are substantially more that are women in the television world than in film.
And I would say definitely dramas.
Yes.
Comedies, you still got like
Yeah.
2, maybe 3 women on every staff.
Yeah.
And it's a quote. Whether it's an actual quote on somebody said you've got to hire women, or they're just like, yeah, I guess I'll put 2 on it. But it's always that way, and that's a bummer. And there are not a lot of female showrunners in comedy. They're out
Yeah.
there. I mean, especially some of these young women who are making some kick-ass shows, and they're out there. And I'd love to be one of them someday. But I see a lot of dramas being run by women. I know a lot of women who write on dramas, and it's like half the staff is female. So it's getting there.
It's getting there, yeah.
You know, the one thing I will say is when I started, me and especially my girlfriends were like, who were all assistants, we were like, okay, when we get our jobs, we're going to save every dime we have because we will never work past 40. Because there was a huge ageism problem with
Really?
TV writing, especially comedy writing. And that, I think, is gone.
Really?
Yeah. Well, there was actually a lawsuit, you know, about, I don't know, I think it finally finalized about 6 years ago. But a bunch of older writers, being like 40-plus writers, 50-plus writers, brought a lawsuit against all the major studios, all the networks, and a few of the agencies. Because they weren't getting hired on shows. I mean, they literally weren't getting hired on shows. And it all kind of had to do with the phenomenon of Friends, which, as we know, started in around 94. And almost that entire writing staff was 20-something cool kids. The creators were like in their 30s, I think. And then all those shows that kind of were Friends-like all hired a bunch of young writers. And so it was just kind of like, oh, you can't be funny unless you're in your 20s. And then this lawsuit happened, and they won. They proved that they were being discriminated against. And a show called Modern Family came on the air, as well as others. But I really like Modern Family specifically was run by two guys who were probably super hot comedy writers in their 20s and 30s, and now they're 40s and 50s. But they were like, oh, we're hiring, if you don't have a teenage kid or a baby at home, we don't want you. I mean, I don't.
Because you don't have the perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was specific, but I know that they deliberately tried to hire a lot of people with kids, and that's, your 30, 40, 50-year-old writers. And so now I don't feel that ageism at all, and in fact, I lose jobs to women older and wiser and better resumes to me all the time.
Now the 20-year-olds are being discriminated against.
In a way,
poor 20.
I know. In a way they are, though. I mean, I don't see as many 20-year-olds and stuff. I see a lot. I've worked with several 35, 40-year-old staff writer, which is the lowest level. And back in the day, staff writer was just, they were always 25 to 30 years old, almost.
Sure.
So I do think things have changed, and that's a relief.
Right.
The older I get.
What's your take on the whole writer's strike that happened with SAG a few years back?
You mean with WGA?
The WGA, SAG didn't strike.
I know, I was about to say.
We were the ones who struck.
Yeah.
Right.
Although some were on the picket lines, and I thank you. I stand with my guild. I wouldn't make the money I do and have the residuals I have if it weren't for my guild. And I think everybody's making a lot of money, and I think it's nice to share. I think it's just a simple rule of thumb. And so my thought is it was the right thing to do. Maybe we should have asked or gotten a little more. Of course, you always want a little more, but I mean, I'm not anti-strike. And you know what? We're writers. We never know when our next job is going to come. We never know when we're going to get fired from our job. So you got to save your money. You have to. So to be like, I can't pay my mortgage next month. Well, have you always worked every month of your life? Because I haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, the young writers, yes, but I don't know.
It's tricky business.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, your contract is coming up for renegotiation again soon.
Mine specifically?
No, the writers.
What do you know? Oh, no. Yes, we're negotiating right now. They took a break for some reason for like a month, but they are negotiating right now. I haven't heard any rumblings that there will be a strike.
Okay.
I certainly hope we don't.
Yeah.
I'm on a show right now that I love, and that would be a huge bummer to not be able to go back to it. But.
Yeah. Well, tell us about the show you're working on right now.
So it's called Baby Daddy, and it's on ABC Family, which
it's having a lot of shows that are running and getting picked up.
They're kicking ass. Yeah, but it's not ABC. Like, I have to tell my relatives, it's not ABC. It's called ABC Family, and it's on your cable channel. And I don't know what channel it is, but it's on Wednesdays at 8:30, because, of course, my DVR just picks it up for me. And ABC Family is a little bit of a misnomer, because it's definitely like older teens, 20-somethings, 30, 40-somethings kind of shows. So this is one of their two sitcoms. It is their highest performing sitcom.
Well done.
Two. Yeah.
Well
done. They're putting more on there this summer, I believe. So it's about so there's 4 20-somethings that are all friends. 2 of them are brothers. And one of them, the Lothario of the gang, wakes up one morning to find a baby on his doorstep that was from a one-night affair. And so that's the term Baby Daddy, is that he's this 20-something dum-dum raising a kid with the help of his 3 friends and his mother, who's played by Melissa Peterman. And
I love her.
I know, she's amazing. And she's, early 40s. And she's the mother of these 2 20-something kids who, and, the story goes that she gave birth at prom. So, I mean, she's a wild one herself, and probably the most immature of the group, which I love. And I love writing for these characters, and they are amazing live. I mean, and if anyone wants to come see the show, let me know. I'll get you in, because we have an audience. I mean, I'd say our audience is 80 to 100 people.
Yeah.
I'd say at least a quarter to a third of them are there every week.
What?
We have these fans. I've never seen that. I've never seen that on a show before. they love this show. They know all the actors now, and they like stay after to get autographs or say they take tally of who made the most mistakes, and then at the end of the season they like present an award to the most mistakes and the least mistakes. And the actors are so great. They're like they get really into it. And they're very competitive, and these gaggles of girls stay after to get pictures and autographs because the 3 boys on the show are
They're
so
adorable.
hot. Yeah, adorable. Like.
The older brother, who's the guy who plays the older brother?
Derek Thieler.
Oh, he's like a hunky tree walking around. It's hysterical.
He's ridiculously good looking. I mean, you can't. It's just you're like, oh, he's just ridiculous.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and they're so nice and so much fun. It's great. So and the writers' room is so friendly and amazing, and we have so much fun. I love everything about it.
Awesome.
It's been amazing.
Well, everybody check out Baby Daddy on ABC Family on Wednesdays at 8:30. And thank you so much for joining us, Janae.
Oh my gosh,
Thank you,
for having
Janae.
me.
Very great.
Wow, applause and everything. I mean, it's amazing.
I know.
It's great.
It's our live studio audience. You have an actual live studio audience, but we have Van Erich, who's just as awesome, I say.
Is there any websites or anything that you want to give out for the show or about you personally?
I don't have a website. I don't have Twitter. ABC Family is got a nice Baby Daddy website, and they the actors usually tweet during the show. There's usually at least one actor tweeting. They have a lot of followers, and we of course have a Facebook page, Baby Daddy Facebook page. So like us.
Yes.
Watch the show. Give it a shot because it's I think people just tend to go to network for their comedies or whatever, but like this is great. And we're at 20 years ago, this would be on the network, but it's just now everything's really. Like the 20-somethings watch this network and the 40-somethings watch this network. And so we're on the 20-something network, but it is a fantastic show.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Cool. Well, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be right back with Nick and Meredith Hoffa.
On La La Land on LA Talk Live.
Each time the wind blows, I hear your voice, so I call your name. Whispers and warning, our love is dawning. Heaven's glad you came. You know how I feel, this thing can't go wrong. I'm so proud to say I love you. Your love's got me high, I long to get by. This time is forever, love is the answer. I hear your voice now, you are my choice now. The love you bring, heaven's in my heart. At your call I hear harps and angels sing. You know how I feel, this thing can't go wrong. I can't live my life without you. I just can't hold on, I feel we belong. My life ain't worth living if I can't be with you. I just can't stop loving you. I just can't stop loving you. And if I stop, then tell me just what will I do? I just can't stop loving you. At night when the stars shine, I pray in you I'll find a love so true. When morning awakes me, will you come and take me? I'll wait for you. You know how I feel, I won't stop until I hear your voice saying I do. This thing can't go wrong, this feeling so strong. Well, my life ain't worth living if I just can't stop loving you. We can change all the world tomorrow. We can sing songs of yesterday. I can say, hey, farewell to sorrow. This is my life, and I want to see you for always. I just can't stop loving you. Oh, I just can't stop loving you. Never get down and never stop. Oh, tell me just what will I do? I just can't stop loving you. Why do, girl? I just can't stop loving you. And no, I do. And never stop. And tell me just what will I do? I'm sending you a Valentine in hopes that you're still.
Welcome back to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue. I'm Brett Chapin. I'm having a bad hair day, so please don't be offended.
What?
And
Me too.
I am.
am
It's
I.
horrible
Me too.
today.
I don't
Oh, it's
judge.
bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Good
Well,
stuff.
you saw me in my like giant Velcro rollers earlier.
I know. I was trying to
He was
convince
like,
Dorothy
"Oh my
to keep her.
God!" I'm from the South. I don't mind like being out and about with curlers.
Yeah.
It's just
No,
It's
you're
a
looking good. I wish
it's
you'd
part
worn
of the
them for
role.
the
Keep them on.
show.
It should be like your shtick for the show.
it could be my thing. My
Yeah,
shtick
yeah.
is the curlers.
Yeah.
My shtick. You know, people don't know how to hot roller anymore. Do you know how to hot roller?
Yes, I think hot rollers are incredible.
They are amazing.
It's too much. Like now that I have a kid, I
Mhm.
can't. I feel like I can't have them out. Like it's just.
Oh
such
yeah,
a
it's a safety
production.
thing. Yeah.
But I remember the day I discovered them. It
Mm.
was like my senior. It was graduation, and I borrowed some from the mother of one of my friends, and I was like, "What is this? I look so pretty."
Nick and Van Eric, do you do hot rolling? No.
I don't do hot rolling. No, usually my
No.
hair is pretty short.
Yeah.
But I should do hot rolling because I used to have. If I let my hair grow, it
You
really.
did?
If I do, it really poofs out and it's like really nice.
That
and
would
it's
be
just like
cool.
a real thing.
You could do the Bradley Cooper perm.
That's exactly
That's
what my mother's
basically
saying to
his
me. I used to be
hair.
like,
Really?
well,
Because
it could be. It's a little poofier than that. It kind of goes
oh
out.
my
It
gosh.
kind of goes out. So it's a major disappointment in my life, and mostly my mom's, that my hair is short.
You could always put a little pick in there and
I
be
did-
stylish.
I just showed our
Yeah.
daughter how I used to steal pencils from art class in like 4th grade by sticking pencils in my hair and walking out. And not as a truant, just because I
Right.
found it fun.
I mean, let's not get crazy.
I know.
Let's not get crazy or
You know,
anything
they were-
like that. No.
yeah. I returned them, of course.
Of course.
And you impressed a lot of girls in the meantime.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
That was my thing.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're here with Nick Hoffa, actor director, and his lovely wife Meredith Hoffa, who is a writer and blogger. And Nick and I know each other from an acting class that we did together years ago.
Years ago, I know.
So long.
So long. It almost hurts to think about how long ago it was. Can we pretend that was
We
6
were
months
entire different commercial categories back then.
ago? Yeah, we were. And now we've fused into one.
Now we
Now it's the same category.
Now
It's
it's the
weird.
same one.
It's weird. but
Absolutely
yeah.
the same one. But anyway, so what had happened to you, you started posting the link for Meredith's writing on
Yes.
The Bachelor. And I
Yes.
watched The Bachelor first. It's that, I don't know why, but my husband and I watch it together.
Yeah.
And we watch it to laugh. And we do watch the 2 hour in about a span of 45 minutes
Yeah.
because we
You have to.
fast forward a lot. But I was like, oh oh wait, it's another couple that knows about The Bachelor, and then she actually writes about it, and it made me laugh so hard that I had to have you guys on.
And I should say that a few times Dorothy has emailed me or has Facebook messaged me to be like, "Where's the link?"
It's harassing.
And so
you.
you should just friend Meredith, and then
I
you can get it
love
right
it.
away, as opposed to waiting an hour for me to go ahead and post her blog.
It's like you're my comedy dealer
I
for a
know.
while.
Where is it? Yeah.
Right.
You're smacking your shoulder.
Is this just commentary on The Bachelor? It's
I mean,
your own
that's a really
insights on it?
That's a really generous word for what I do. I think I have a compulsion to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It started out as a joke, and now it's not fully a joke that I watch it. I started out watching it when a couple seasons ago I noticed that one of the contestants on it was a girl that I knew. I had shot a commercial with her, but it was out of town, so I had spent like a concentrated 3 days with this woman. I felt sort of, close to her. We had a really nice time, and she was on Ben's season of The Bachelor.
Oh, yeah.
And it completely
Like
shocked
hair
me.
Ben, right? Like with
Yes,
the longest hair. Yeah.
horse hair. And she won that season. So that was how I started watching the show, and I started watching it as a joke. And now it's not completely a joke. I mean, it's of course still a joke, and that's always the disclaimer that you have to make when you talk about it, but it's also like, it's a very calming, soothing hour of my life every week that I weirdly look forward to. But yeah, so I just sort of sound off. There's no real format to what I do. I just sort of vomit.
Okay.
And then luckily there are people like Dorothy who appreciate that.
What's the link? Give out the link for people.
Oh, it's meredithhoffa.com.
Yes.
meredithhoffa.com.
And you can go like
That's it.
episode by episode. You can.
Yeah. You can
Right.
look at a whole season or just.
Well, and tell me if this is wrong too, because Meredith had been doing recaps for Entertainment Weekly for Amazing Race, and So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was she didn't do them for The Bachelor, but then started to watch The Bachelor, and you really enjoy writing in your blog more than.
Yeah.
It's a different process. I mean, it's like more
It's
of like a
different
freeing
audience, too.
different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
ABC needs to be giving you some money for this.
I know.
Yeah, seriously.
It's
I
free
know.
publicity for them.
I know. That's what I say. I mean, I do. I really enjoy writing recaps and entertainment stuff for magazines, but when it's your own blog, there's something really freeing about it. You can just, you don't have to like write, because you don't really want to adhere to like talking about what happened. And when you're doing it for a magazine, you often
You
have
do
to
have
like,
to,
right.
yeah.
But we all know what happened,
Exactly.
or we don't care what happened. It's just,
That is the thing. It's not a recap. I think that's the biggest thing. Is like it's not a recap. It's like the commentary on, the whole thing with is it Charlene?
Yeah, Charlene.
Charlene, who is this enigma, and I think it's like she wandered. My husband say it's like she wandered onto the set and didn't know what she'd signed up for, and literally she looked so just perplexed at everything that was happening on the show. It was like season 1 for her.
Yeah.
And that to me, that she was so much comedy to be mined from that. And God.
Yeah, like
Opera
to see
singer.
a
She was the
regular
opposite.
human
And
being.
she was classy. The whole thing about her being classy.
And elegant.
And elegant.
Elegant is
She's very elegant.
yeah, it is. It's funny. I'm convinced that she got on the show as a dare or something, but she seems never. She's just like, what is this?
What?
And so there's something really funny to watch her sort of figure out this ludicrous carnival that she's on. So she has been the saving grace of this season.
Yeah.
No one that's elegant on a reality show.
I don't
No
know.
one.
Charlene
she's pretty darn.
Is elegant.
Is she?
is
Yeah,
elegant.
you have one more chance. You can check her out tomorrow or Monday night on the finale.
Yeah.
She's elegant.
Is she reality show
Okay.
elegant? The way that when people talk about like athletes, if like they say like an athlete is funny, you sort of have to say they're athlete funny because they're not actually funny. Is she reality show elegant?
I think she's like a human being.
Yeah.
An actual human being.
Okay.
Which makes her, to the
makes her
other
elegant.
people on the show, they don't know what to do with her
They don't-
either.
exactly.
All the girls are like, what is going on with her?
Yeah. They're very suspicious of her.
They're very suspicious.
You know, because she's sort of like, wait, but I don't want to just like get the husband. I want to get to know him and figure out if we're compatible, figure out if I like him. Like, it's not just about him choosing me. It's, do I want to choose him to spend the rest of my life with? And they're like, what is that? What's her deal? So I love watching that. That to me has been everything about
Claire. Okay, so it's down to Claire and Nikki.
Claire and Nikki.
Right. So Claire, what was the way? There was something you were describing about how she reacts to things, which is like bottom lip out. What is it? Bottom lip out.
I didn't say that, but
when you talk about it's like bottom lip out, cast the eyes downward.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That thing.
Yeah, baby voice.
The baby voice. Yeah.
Eyes cast downward. Everything is sort of like, I'm falling in love with you. You know, you like sort of take it back while you're saying it, and you say it like a 4-year-old, and you're talking to your dad, but it's your husband. Yeah, she's, you know, I wish I cared more about either one of these contestants.
I know.
They're both perfect for the show. They're both perfect for him.
Oh yeah. Nikki, who takes no gruff.
Right.
She's just over it.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm a pediatric nurse. Like, people vomit on me. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I know, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate. I have no problem with her straight talk.
Not at all.
No, I wouldn't want to be. I mean, to me, you know, you read about what it's like to actually be a contestant on one of these shows. It sounds awful.
Oh, it sounds horrible.
There's no luxury. Like, you know, they talk about like the mansion, and it sounds awful. And you're sharing a room with girls for months, and I think you really do sit around a lot.
Oh.
There's a lot of
and you don't get
downtime.
any
You don't have to
current
leave.
events.
No,
Yeah.
you can't.
No internet, no newspapers, magazines.
Sounds like background work.
Yeah, it's
Sitting around a lot.
like background work.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
guess
it's,
so.
Oh, I love.
There's some
I love
crossover
Monkey
there.
Lunchbox. That's a good one.
It sounds like
Very
it.
nice.
Yeah.
Chicken sit.
And
That's it.
what's
grueling.
the best? I mean, what's one of the best parts about the show for you? What are some of the good parts? We've talked about some of the
Yeah.
weird parts.
Well, you know, like one of the things that I really love about this show, and that I'll sort of defend, there's like a sameness to it, right? Like, and rather than, I mean, this show has been going on for like 100 seasons, or maybe 19 or 20 at this point.
Just
but
feels like 100.
It's 100-ish. I like this sameness. Like, I find it really comforting. That's sort of, I think, one of the things that attracts me to it. It's so reliable and so glossy.
Oh yeah.
For the senses, right? Like, there's a lot of like pretty stuff to look at, and the girly part of me really likes. It's like looking through a magazine. Like, it's like
Exotic
looking at
travel.
travel.
The
It's like a
travel part of
travelogue.
it. Yeah.
And fashion and makeup and hair, and you can just sort of, you just turn off your brain, and I don't know, there's something that like in a sensory way is very numbing to my brain, and I mean that in not a bad way. So I like that aspect of it, and of course I can't wait for this season to end, but that's one of the reasons why I watch the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And who do you think he's gonna pick? Who do you?
Well, I read spoiler. I don't know if you guys know about Reality Steve.
think? No.
All right, so I won't say. But Reality Steve is this guy who like ABC keeps suing, and he runs a blog.
He
and
says he knows.
He often knows, like, you know,
Oh.
occasionally he's wrong, but he knows like episode by episode what's going to happen, and generally he does a really good job.
How does he know? Is he like an insider?
He has he has a connection or
Okay.
connections on the inside, and I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah, so I don't want to comment because I'll give it, but you know, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. But what's interesting, you know, it has been going on for so long that, like you said, The Bachelor, and it's now, to me, it kind of branches off into its own other industries, not just,
Right.
you know, the contestants go off and they become correspondents for certain things, or there's the whole Dancing with the Stars connection now, but they're also people, it's almost like writing fan fiction.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can do a blog that comments on it or anything like that. Like, it's become more than the show itself.
Right.
So I don't know. I
Which
find that
is-
entertaining.
It is entertaining and fascinating, and it's you always sort of, when something is so bad, it's good. You know, it's such a like hermetically sealed, ridiculous world that they create.
I gotta start watching The Bachelor now.
Well,
Just watch the finale, and that might be.
that might do it for
Yeah,
you.
you're
That
selling me on
You
this
can
show.
you can really get sucked in quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
in the background for me, and I'm not paying attention, but I mean, I just love to read Meredith's stuff.
Mhm.
But it can suck you in pretty easily. And Meredith has always made a good point, that a little bit like the point I've made for her about watching sports sometimes. Like, you don't always have to pay like rapt attention like it's an episode of Game of Thrones. You can just kind of have it on in the background, and then like all of a sudden, you've always said that like you can tell by the music cues if it's like, oh, I should pay attention. You know, otherwise you can just
true, that's true.
email and just check out, and like,
When there's all of a sudden silence.
yeah,
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
you know that there's something right.
Then something's about to happen.
Just check out if it's like jaunty music, then you can know you can
Yeah.
probably ignore it because someone's
That's how I
making
got
some dumb joke.
sucked into Jersey Shore. So
Right.
I had a day. I had to spend the whole day cleaning my room because it was a mess, and I had Jersey Shore on in the background, and it's just I kind of started paying attention.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Well, I think that
Now I can't get enough of it.
I totally relate to that, and I think I see Nick have that experience with sports, right? Like you have a thing that's just on in the background, and it's sort of comforting, and you can tune in and tune out and get other things done. And this is my equivalent, right?
There you go.
So, I like that.
The star of the show has
Someone's
joined us.
doing this.
Hi,
That's my true
You want to
love.
say hi, Maribel?
it's Mirabelle.
No.
No, that's okay.
Gun shy.
Oh my goodness.
It's like when we had Rex on the show.
Yes, actually, he was much cagier.
Yeah.
Way cagey. He was like, no, I need to go now. I left.
And he literally
Publicist,
walked out the door.
right?
Yeah, he did. He just walked right
Oh
out. the
my
door.
Yeah.
gosh.
Yes. Yeah.
Travis running after.
He's like, oh,
Wait a minute.
hang on, buddy.
Well, Dorothy, who's your favorite this season?
Oh gosh.
The elegant Charlene or the dramatic Claire?
Claire, I don't particularly enjoy. She annoys me, and after her hometown was very strange with all, those sister
Sister mom.
sister mom, yeah, the sister mom, and yeah, there's something just kind of off about her. But that doesn't mean that I think she's a bad match for him. It just means that I don't particularly, I'm not. I think Nikki would be the one that I would, if I was matching someone to a guy that I actually like, I would pick Nikki. But I don't. It's kind of either one for him.
Yeah.
Because at this point, he's sort of shown that he's not as fabulous as he took himself to be.
He's awful.
He's terrible. He's a terrible. And the face touching. So just to see how awful face touching would be, Travis, my husband, we're watching. I'm like, that seems really weird. He goes, oh really? Is it weird when I do this? So he started doing all the face touching that he does, and I lost it. First of all, I started laughing so hard, but my mascara was on my cheeks. But it was so creepy. I don't know how these girls have gone an entire season of him being all face touchy.
Yeah.
Don't touch faces. Like, stop it. Stop with the face touching.
Face touching is really bad. Meredith has a good thing too, where she talks about medium touch in general is like a really bad thing. Like you can softly touch someone, or you can massage them.
Sure.
But like medium touch, where you're sort of like doing neither,
Makes my skin
is
crawl.
like it's just like really creepy, and
Yeah.
it's true. I've now noticed it when someone gives me medium touch, it's really tough, and that's what I think his face touching is. It's like medium touch with his knuckles all over their cheeks.
Yeah, I wonder where he picked that up. Where he, because we all learn our little idiosyncrasies from somewhere. I wonder if
Where
do
in
they do
Venezuela
face,
is
yeah,
that
do they
right?
do face touching on like Venezuelan soap operas? Do they
I
do
don't know.
because I learned a lot of things from Santa Barbara and General Hospital, like when I was in like the 7th and 8th grade, and I was a latchkey kid, and I spent a lot of time watching those shows. And
I
was
love
like-
GH. I mean, I don't watch it as
That
much
was
as I
Nick's
used
show.
That was
to.
my show.
Really?
Yeah, my sister and I used to watch it every day coming home from
Luke
school.
and Laura, man.
Luke and Laura, yeah.
Luke
even
and freaking
past.
Laura.
And I, Anne and Robert as well was well back into my day. Frisco. And,
I love Fiona.
Fiona, yeah.
Oh man,
I saw her.
so talented. Remember, she was
somewhere.
also in Staying Alive with John Travolta.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, I know Fiona, and I didn't watch GH.
I saw her somewhere, and I was like, oh my god.
She still looks great. Anna Devane. She played Anna Devane.
Right.
Fiona
I
Hughes.
saw
Fiona Hughes.
Finola.
Finola Hughes.
Finola.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think I saw Felicia, the actress who plays Felicia, at like
Really?
at the Amundsen or something.
Frisco and
I was
Felicia.
really
Starstruck there.
starstruck.
It's
Yeah.
I don't get that star, but sometimes when I'm like, oh man.
Well, if it's somebody from your past, it's someone from when
Yeah.
you were a kid, it's a different deal.
It is. See, Nick, now that you have this, you've been reading your wife's blog and you're watching back. Have you ever watched Burn in Love?
Oh my
Yeah, I have watched Burning Love.
I mean that.
Yeah. It's pretty
Come
great.
on.
It's pretty amazing.
That's
Yeah.
Nick needs to be on Burning Love.
I feel like and I feel like The Bachelor exists solely so that Burning Love could be born.
Yeah.
Right.
So good. Have you watched it?
I have, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
It-
I haven't seen the TV incarnation of it.
Oh, I haven't.
Oh,
Right?
I don't
It
even
made its
know
way
about
onto-
that.
I think
was it a
it's-
stage show first?
No. I mean, it wasn't it? It was an internet show.
yeah.
And then I think
Oh.
now it's.
Yeah,
I think,
and they had
I'm
a
making this up
bachelor
completely.
version and they had a bachelorette version too.
Right.
Oh, hot mess.
Yeah.
In
I
the
know.
best
It is
way.
great.
In the
It's so
best
good.
way. And so
And barely a joke. Like when you're watching, like,
Barely.
you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Like, which if you didn't know that these are
Right.
really comedy people, you wouldn't necessarily know
They nail it.
which is worse.
and it's getting and I think it provided a lot of cool work for some great commercial actors
Yeah, it's
and
true.
Mm-hmm.
and people that kind of knock around doing the co-stars and the guest stars, and they're funny and should be at the front.
Right.
And that's what I see. So a lot of this parody of reality shows, okay, I'll accept the reality show if we can have the parody where we give some great screen time to awesome actors.
Right.
So.
I agree. If that's the result, I had no idea that was going to be the case. But
I mean,
I agree with it. Let's go with your logic.
We're gonna roll with that.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me. Don't you? Now, Brett. Now you know.
Reality show talk is like.
I know.
Burn and Love sounds like an Elvis reality show to me.
Kind of sort of. Do you know what? I
It's a
actually,
satire,
I
you know.
interviewed
Is it-
to be
yeah.
on The
It has to do with
Bachelor.
Elvis?
No.
I did.
Oh,
What?
okay.
Yeah, I interviewed to be on The Bachelor, like for its second season.
Oh
I
my
did.
God. So what year was that? Early in the 2000s?
And how did Travis feel about that?
Oh, this is way pre-Travis.
Yes.
Totally
And so what was
pre-Travis.
that process like?
It was, well, it was still really new, and so I went to this office, and it was a lot of post-production going on, so there was a lot of very pale men, because they're in post all the time, so it's like walking in and they're all kind of glowing, and so I go in and they're talking and they're talking to me, and I had definite opinions about how the first season had gone, and I told them, like, I said it should be flipped around. Like, I think a woman would be better to be the center, and then the men, and they're like, you seem kind of bitter. I'm like, well, I have lived in Los Angeles a whole 2 years now, so yeah. But anyway,
Meredith and Nick, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you
Yeah.
for having
That was
us.
fun.
and check in for MeredithHoffa.com, also NickHoffa.com. You can catch them on Twitter at Meredith Hoffa, at Nick Hoffa.
We're easy.
Yes, good times.
Thanks
Yeah.
for having
Thanks,
us.
guys.
Stuff.
Thanks.
Next week,
Next week.
we're having casting director Lisa Marquise from Cut Above Casting. Can't wait to talk to her.
Yeah, definitely.
Stuff. Until then, that's Dorothy Dillingham Blue.
Sure is. And there is Brett Chapin.
You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk, Twitter at twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk, or send us an email at lalalandtalk@gmail.com. This is La La Land Talk on LA Talk Live, and we'll see you at the top.
Bye. Can you wave?